Hmm. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with Hollow Knight, this is a Metroidvania, and what Metroidvanias entail is that you go to a place and you grab a skill, which unlocks another place where you can get another skill, and so on and so forth down the line until you have enough stuff in order to be able to beat the game. For the purposes of fairness, by the way, just because of the way Hollow Knight runs on everybody's computers and different load times for transitions, you will see the runner's timers pause during those transitions, and we're going to be using the loadless version. We have an auto splitter here that removes the loads, so that in the interest of having a fair race. So in the top left corner of your screen, you're going to see 5 masks, which are indicators of the health. For the most part, what the runners are going to be encountering in the game here today is going to do 1 damage. To the left of that is the soul meter, for all intents and purposes, from 0 to 9. And 1 hit of the nail will give you 1 soul. And most spells are going to be costing here, all spells rather, are going to be costing 3 soul, including healing. So, Paul, maybe you want to talk a little bit about the importance of going fast in this game in terms of managing your soul.
Yeah, so the soul, which was mentioned, is in the top left of the screen, can be used for either healing or spells. And in this case, we only use 1 spell. It's Vengeful Spirit, or it looks kind of like a fireball. To go fast, we want to kill things as fast as possible because there are a lot of things locked behind either arenas or bosses. So we want to ideally use the soul always for Vengeful Spirit for that fireball spell. But of course, if you're at low HP, you will have to heal, especially in a race, to make sure you don't die. What's interesting actually is Krythom. Krythom just had a 51 King's Pass, which is a very fast time. He had a soft fallen King's Pass, which I don't know. It's of note. It's probably the fastest you're going to see the very start of the game for at least a good while.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets hit twice in this fall.
Yeah, so there are quite a few reasons that we're playing on the Grim Tree patch, which is patch 1221, and one of them is inventory dropping. When you fall and you open up your inventory, it actually uncaps your fall speed,
Oh no!
and you can force, in a lot of situations, soft falls, so that you don't get the stun animation as you hit the ground. 1 HP here on Krythom's side, on the right-hand side of your screen, very early on in the run. This is inauspicious for how this is going to proceed for him. Ooh,
Yeah,
and
I think
Lolicry takes a dip into the spikes there as well.
a lot of it was RNG. I think he did get hit twice in the fall down, which kind of sucks. And as long as he survives this, his time's not going to suffer from it. But if he does die, he's going to be put back in the bench at Dirtmouth, which is going to be like about a minute loss at the start of the run, which is not something that you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
As is though he is actually ahead on time, as long as he can not get hit ever. Oh, he will heal. That's a smart idea.
Yeah. not too much in the way that can actually kill him, but I mean, when you're on 1 HP, it really is just a one-shot scenario, so no harm taking that extra little bit of time for the purposes of race safety. That would undoubtedly have been a reset if this was a PB attempt.
Yeah, they're going to be coming up here. I'm looking at Lolicry's screen. It looks like he's paused.
Yeah, some internet issues, probably. Yeah, that's unfortunate. There we go. He's moved out now. Okay, cool.
So they're pretty even here coming into False Knight. They're both on 2 HP actually too, which shouldn't affect them too much. False Knight can give you a bit of RNG patterns, but for the most part, they're going to stay even until they head into Green Path, which is our second area of the game, which hopefully they'll survive with more HP than this.
Little extra heal there from Krythom as well. On the right-hand side, he's up to 4 now. Lolicry doing the same. On the left-hand side, and this is a pretty easy situation right here. Devin tended skip after you get rid of the first phase there. The False Knight, you can break that wall and just head on through. So, Krythom ahead by about 8 seconds right now.
Yeah. Again, once we get to Green Path, it shouldn't matter too much. I'm interested to see. I don't know too much about all glitches. I don't know if they do fireball skips at all. I would guess they don't. But I'm kind of interested to see for those tricks, for tricks like Fireball Skip and the Pogos, the Explosion Pogo, the Mantis Pogo, if Krythom has practiced them or knows them down, or I really have no idea.
Yeah, like you were alluding to earlier, he runs glitch categories of this game and has stated for us before the race that he hasn't practiced this pretty much since his PB, so he's coming in blind as far as that goes, and well, not blind, but you know what I mean.
How long is since his PB?
If you will.
How long has since his PB?
I can figure that out for you in a second. I think it's been close to a year.
I don't know.
Actually, you know what? I can't figure that out because he deleted his time from the leaderboards because he's a person who does that.
I mean, I can see it. He's pretty respected as a speedrunner. I mean, he has the fastest all glitches time by a wide margin, so probably doesn't really want a slower time there on the leaderboards.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that he's almost minus 3 minutes on Lolicry in terms of personal best, it's not like he's rusty at the game in general, just kind of rusty at the category. So this is the Balder. You can get some RNG here. Krythom seems to get good RNG, but messes up his soul count coming into it, so he actually has to wait for a second Balder. Gets lucky with back-to-back mini Balders for the spit to farm the last bit of soul in order to get the kill, but that is going to allow Lolicry some time to catch up and even out this race a little bit.
Yeah, the RNG in the Balder is whether or not he spits one of those smaller Balders, those blue balls, or the fireball looking thing. Because you can get soul off the blue balls, you can't on the other thing. So far in all these races, I don't think we've seen worse than maybe second or third spit. You can get it's a 50-50 shot every spit, so you can just get really screwed over if you constantly get fireballs.
I believe the highest known non-mini Balder spit count is 14, so it can get away from you. It usually doesn't, so it's good to see that you get them in 2 or 3 in a race situation. So if you move off screen here and then shoot a fireball, you get a massive amount of hits with the fireball on that particular Balder, and you can one-shot it, so very nice.
And they're both going to make their first fireball skip. Both look pretty clean.
So the way that works is that Vengeful Spirit gives you air stall and knockback when you cast it. So when you do a little turnaround there, it gives you a little bit of extra horizontal distance in order to make the skip. That one wouldn't have cost a whole lot of time if the runners miss it. There's going to be one coming up where it is basically mandatory if you don't want to essentially forfeit your early game.
So it's not something we usually pay too much attention to, but we're already at 4 HP for Krythom and 3 HP for Lolicry. So this actually could be a scary green path considering how much damage it seems like these guys are taking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be particularly surprised if we see a heal from Lolicry. I wouldn't expect to see one from Krythom. 4 HP still leaves you in a pretty comfortable position for Hornet.
We're at 4 out of 4 fireball skips, which is pretty good for these runners. They're also very even on time right now.
Killing this Moss Charger, a little bit of extra soul.
Oh, they made it.
All right.
Their whole reason for hitting the enemies here isn't for the Geo really or the kills, it's just to get the soul to do those fireball skips.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the somewhat nearer route divergences in terms of world record attempts for this game ends up killing Vengefly King, and on Lolicry's side, on the left-hand side of your screen, you just saw him go and take what is now kind of classified as an old route, grabbing some Geo Rocks there. It would lose him potentially up to, I believe it's 7 seconds. But it's probably just what he's comfortable with.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because he's the runner that got a PB today, and Krythom hasn't PB'd for a while, and Krythom's doing the newer Geo route. So this is going to be, on Krythom's side, Vengefly King, which is the new Geo route. The only reason it switches is just it's a faster way to get Geo, that's kind of it. Assuming you get a clean kill, which we'll see right here.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Geo kind of ran away on him, though.
Yeah, if you don't get... he did get hit in the middle, which loses some time and makes the Vengefly King go further right. And because he's further right, the Geo kind of spits out everywhere. So, I don't know. He probably still saved time doing Vengefly route, but not nearly the 7 seconds that we'd expect.
No. So
okay.
Yeah, we were talking about Geo here. One of the reasons that this routing is important is there's quite a few items that the runners are going to be interested in purchasing throughout the point of the run. One of them costing 1,800 Geo. So a lot of these little detours that the runners are going to be seeing making that don't seem to have a whole lot of purpose in terms of progression in the game are specifically just to get currency in order to buy that progression later on. So
yeah, we'll see the special. Yeah. They're very... I think they were down to the second coming into the Hornet fight. Lolicry got the kill at 8:07. Krythom seems a little slower, 8:09. I mean, that's still very tight. The Geo that we're mostly going to see, we're getting a little bit now just so we can buy Shaman Stone, which is a spell that we'll talk about, or a charm that we'll talk about a little later. But most of the Geo collection actually comes in a later part during City of Tears, because it's just more efficient to get a lot of Geo at once and get relics.
Yeah, so Krythom's actually caught up. Yeah, they're only about a second apart right now, and it was about a 7 to 8 second difference earlier on. So, Krythom just having a little bit cleaner movement overall so far in the early game, and managing his soul gathering and his health quite well, considering some of the spaghetti that you saw early on.
Yeah, so they're coming up to an area called Fungal Wastes, and the only reason they go to this is to get Claw, which means you can attach yourself to walls and jump off of walls, which is vitally important for movement in the game. So there's basically two things that can happen in Fungal. Either they can hit both of the skips, and then they'll probably still be within a second or two of each other, or if one of them misses one of the skips being Explosion Pogo, or one of them dunks like that, then we could see a bigger time difference. But in general, the movement's not too difficult.
Yes, that actually should put Krythom slightly in the lead, despite the appearances on the screen. Remember, we're using loadless timers here, so you're going to see the time shift here between runners. One might seem to be ahead when they're really behind, depending on the computing hardware. So we'll do our best to keep you abreast of that as this run continues.
Yeah, it doesn't seem too far off. Like, the loads are about 5 seconds apart, which isn't nearly as bad as what we can have. You're going to see Lolicry coming up to Explosion Pogo here. Actually, he needs to get the rocks, right? Yeah, so because he has less geo here, because he's doing a different geo route, he will need to collect these rocks, so that gives him a little more time behind Krythom. Explosion Pogo, we're going to wait for this thing to shoot out this ball. We're going to wait down here. We're going to Pogo once off the ball, and once off the explosion, which is actually hittable. You'll see him get it cleanly, and Krythom a little less clean, but he still makes it. And this is only possible in this patch.
Just answering a question in chat, estimated time for the run is between 35 and 40 minutes. That's in-game time. RTA will be longer.
This is Mantis Pogo, which Lolicry's having a little more trouble with. We use these two Mantises to jump up onto these platforms. There is a backup, which he'll probably end up taking, where you can walk around to the right. Yeah, he tried to make it.
All right, so that's actually a fairly substantial lead right now for Krythom. On the basis of that, that's going to give him approximately another 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, that plus the dunk in the acid plus rocks will give him a lot of time. I'm just going to clarify, Explosion Pogo is possible in the current patches, but it's a lot harder.
You don't want to do it on the current patch, honestly.
Someone found like a better setup for it, but okay, so 15 seconds difference.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, this is definitely still manageable for Lolicry. There's a lot of room for him to catch up on yet in the run, most notably for those of you that will remember the Watcher Nights, probably hatefully from your casual playthrough. It's no different in the speedrun, particularly in this category. We come in severely under-equipped for the Watcher Nights fight in comparison to how you're supposed to combat them. So that's probably one of the scariest areas of the run. And definitely it's a place where the lead can switch.
Wow, they're both not getting soul in these first couple rooms, which I'm very not used to. They do need 6 hits to fight Grezmother effectively. Okay, Lolicry will get a couple hits. I don't know if Krythom knows that he needs hits, because he doesn't have a way to get 6 hits now. He doesn't have enough things to hit. So my guess is he forgot about it.
Yeah, probably.
Another thing to note that gives Lolicry another advantage is he actually has 25 geo more than Krythom, so he can skip a few things in City. He doesn't have to kill all the enemies that Krythom will, so it actually is even closer than the 15-second difference we see. Oh, now he remembers he needs soul.
Yeah, so he's taking a little bit of a backtrack here in order to gather soul for it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough.
No, so it's definitely going to be a longer Grezmother fight. He's going to have to get about 5 hits here by the looks. Before he can do the full 3 fireballs.
The other thing is, if he fireballs...
hit of damage, but that's not too bad.
Yeah, for the amount of soul he came in on, that's actually not bad at all. I have no idea how to do... I mean, it's not really a backup. There shouldn't be a situation where you come in with less than 6, but he really knows.
It's not that big a deal. Clean up, get these little Grezzy spawns. Not too bad on Krythom's side, a little bit better on Lolicry. He did have one trolly one that decided to go to the top of the room. This is going to be an intentional death coming up here. One of the mechanics in Hollow Knight is when you die, a shade spawns at your death location, and then you have to go and reclaim it. When you're dead, you lose 1/3 of your soul meter and all of your geo. When you go and collect your shade, you collect it all. But there's a skip coming up here, Pom, where we abuse the mechanic of the shade in order to bypass an area all much earlier than intended.
Yeah, it's called Shade Skip because you are skipping with your shade. Like a lot of the skips, so like Explosion Pogo and Mantis Pogo, we kind of abuse the fact that you can hit things downwards, or what we call pogoing them, to get a little extra height. So we're going to do that with our shade to get higher than we're intended to, and then dash into kind of a secret area to get across the City of Tears. And Krythom will be showing it off right now. So he's going to attract his shade here, hit it once. We kind of hope he doesn't fireball, and then Yep. Gonna pogo the shade, dash back to the right, and get over.
Yeah,
See
Lolicry did get a fireball on his side.
Oh, did he? I wasn't watching.
Yeah, from pretty almost off screen actually.
Yeah, the fireball it's just gonna lose you time because it takes longer for the shade to come over. That's about it.
Yeah, it's not a massive time loss, but it is annoying when it happens.
There are ways to prevent it, like trying to not be to the left or right of your shade, but it's really not too well known, and we can't prevent it completely. So.
Speaking of fireballs, one of the things that we didn't touch on yet is that what the runner's going to be trying and doing for most of the boss fights in this run is to send a fireball while the enemy is moving away, such that the hitbox will get 2 hits on the enemy, and thus you get more damage. So
Yeah, we didn't see it at Hornet. Who's Hornet? We didn't see it at Hornet. We'll definitely see it at Watcher Knights. It's kind of an integral part to the fight, and hopefully we'll see it at the Hollow Knight, the very last boss of the game too.
I think Hornet is the Simpsons parody of Hornet.
I haven't watched that one.
It's the lesser known version.
Okay, so 1340 on this fall for Cry. It's probably going to be 15 seconds. 15. Okay, 17 seconds. Still a very close race, especially because the Geo is still, 20 apart.
Yeah. Yeah, with Krythom having to do a little bit of extra farming, it's going to cost him a couple seconds at some point when he decides to do that. Relatively clean platforms for Krythom, kind of playing it a little bit safe. Lolicry playing more aggressive here, getting some dashes through platforms instead of kind of just on top of them one to the next. Will catch up a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's kind of just a byproduct of Lolicry running any percent NMG specifically, and Krythom just running the game, running Hollow Knight a lot. I'm curious to see. I don't really know the Geo with City too well. I'm not used to coming in with any more than like 10 Geo here, so I'm curious to see what Lolicry is going to try to skip with 35 Geo. On the right, we're going to see Seer skip. On the left, we're going to see Seer skip now. There's a cutscene that's supposed to play here while you're in that little room to the left, but if you pause, unpause, and then dash out of the room fast enough, it'll completely skip the cutscene. It's not too difficult to do, and they'll both get it.
Yeah. Still about an 18-second difference between the runners right now, based on their exit from picking up the Dream Nail. Required mechanic for beating the game, you cannot access the Dreamers without it, which is one of the lore things that you have to do. So we go and grab that, and we are on our way now to the next area.
Yeah, a less known thing about Dream Nail actually is you can use it on enemies, which you probably didn't do casually. You can use it on enemies and you'll actually get soul back from it. So it is an effective way of gathering soul, and you'll see it a few times during the run.
Particularly on the Watcher Knights and on Umu, right before the fight start. Nice quick way of gathering soul.
So this is our very first room of City where they're just going to be gathering Geo. They're also going to be picking up these things on the ground called relics. What the relics will do is you can sell them later in the run to Lem, and that'll just get you more Geo. So that's the only reason they're picking them up.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly the absolute fastest way to get Geo rather than running around and killing enemies, so it would save a significant amount of time if they had to go for him. Pretty clean pogos from Krythom right hand side, same for Lolicry.
Yeah.
Giving to this relic here, exclusively to that relic. They both go for the damage tank in order to respawn faster here towards the exit and take the bench, full heal for both runners.
Yeah. In the top runs, you tend to not see people take that bench, but it loses probably less than a second. I don't know the exact time. But also, an important thing to note in the race is the bench will actually respawn. It'll change where you respawn when you quit out and join the game again. So if they do die to Watcher Knights or anything in City of Tears, it's very important to have that bench. Otherwise, they're going to respawn all the way back toward the Shade Skip, which is pretty much an unsurmountable deficit at that point.
And here you saw a very clean example of using the double hit mechanic with Vengeful Spirits, basically manipulating with the Gorgeous Husk to jump over, and then as she's moving away to the other side, shoot a fireball and you can get 2 hits in.
Yeah. So overall, the runners are actually both doing very well. These probably aren't PB. It might be a PB pace for Krythom. It might be for Lolicry as well, but I don't think so. But overall, it's a good pace, and I haven't seen any big mistakes. They've gotten all the skips. And only 12 seconds difference.
Yeah, despite the difference on the timers that you see here, they're on the same screen, which just sort of indicates which runner has the more powerful computer. is sitting at about a 12-second difference, but this is one that can even things up, and it's going to as Lolicry gets the skip here real quick. You can hit that lever from the bottom and then pogo off of these monsters so you get over in.
Yeah, and Krythom's going for the safety bench, which is going to lose a good bit of time, but it basically means if he dies to Watcher Knights, he won't lose a ton of time. It's a little bit of a safety, but he'll also lose a lot of time just getting to the bench. So Lolicry's definitely in the lead here, even though he's behind, I think, 12 seconds.
Yeah, those Ravas can sometimes just get away from you, and it's really annoying.
Well, right, so I said he's in the lead. It's pretty close.
Yeah, Watcher Knights fight beginning at 17:42, left side of your screen for Lolicry. Getting a few easy jumps here. Or the first Watcher Knight, not too bad. You saw him detour briefly to go and hit the Chandelier, which actually just removes one of the Watcher Knights from the fight, so didn't know that you do. And now you get pairs of them, so actually, yeah, it's just about even almost. Krythom's fight starting at around the same time Lolicry's did.
Yep, through the Geo and through the safety bench, really, Lolicry was able to catch up. Lolicry is having an okay fight here. Especially for races, the HP matters a lot, and now that I say Lolicry's having a good fight, of course, he's at 1 HP. So he does have time to heal. Yeah, he's going to heal here.
This is going to be a potentially massive turning point in the race. Yeah. Oh, no, he does manage. That's very difficult to do in this fight, by the way, getting any heals off. These things move fast and in a pattern in such a way that it doesn't really allow you a whole lot of opportunity. So that was actually really well done by Lolicry in order to sneak those heals in. Getting back up to 4 HP, Krythom down to 2, continuing to play a little bit aggressive. Now he backs off.
I think this is the last pair.
He should be okay. It looks like one went off on the left-hand side. It was off screen when the death animation went. Yeah, he got that. So he's got a couple more popping up here. Does take the heal.
Oh, that wasn't a second pair. Oh, never mind. I thought that was Krythom's second pair. That was his first.
Yeah. And so that's Lolicry out now on 2 HP, which isn't a big deal because he's going to be entering a dream sequence and then leaving, which restores the HP. So Krythom looking to finish up the fights. Getting kind of bullied into a corner here, not getting a very favorable pattern in terms of stacking the Watcher Knights up, which is what you want. 1 HP! No, Krythom! Krythom uses in the corner!
Oh my god.
He gets out. Oh, clutch by Krythom.
So definitely not the cleanest fight from Krythom. Again, something that you're probably not going to do ever is fight Watcher Knights with just dash and fireball if you don't run the category. So he's going to be down about 20 seconds just from that fight alone, but they do both survive, thankfully.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as massive a deal for Krythom if he died in that fight. Like you alluded to, he took that bench before the Rava Pogo. But, of course, not dying is faster. So, it's pretty good that he got out there. But that is now Lolicry with a reasonably substantial lead for being 20 minutes into the
run. What are you doing?
He just... Why are you... Okay.
There's a bit of a faster strat that you can do, which involves jumping off of one of those statues, which saves, I don't know, under a second probably, and it's a little bit harder. I don't think Krythom was really ready to go for it, but he tried.
Well, we don't hand out A for efforts, unfortunately, so I'm just going to give that one a big old F, and he lost a little bit of time on that one.
So Lolicry's at a really nice amount of geo here. You want to be at, I recently learned, you want to be at 1222 at a bare minimum right here to not have to collect any. Oh, this isn't how you do this. He does need to hit this lever to take this elevator up and then ride it back down. So he kind of forgot how to do that. That's going to lose a few seconds.
If he had 110 more geo, by the way, he would have elite geo.
That is true. I was also thinking about that. Krythom does need, he probably just needs a few enemies worth of geo. He's not very far behind, it's just a little bit of time loss to be wary of.
Yeah, and a lot of it he's kind of going to be catching up in terms of soul farming here anyway, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 sale in terms of that. Takes a dip onto the elevator spikes there. That cost him to the tune of, I believe, about 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot. Which elevator did he hit? I didn't see.
That one right there that he just dropped past.
Oh, okay. So they both had problems with different elevators, actually.
Elevators are the final boss.
Elevators is actually the hardest fight. You have to practice it a lot. See, the issue is there are elevator skips, and Krythom was probably trying to do something like that.
You know, it wouldn't be too surprising if his muscle memory just kind of kicked in a little bit and you just moved too far to the right out of habit.
Yeah, especially because
Or
this is a
something.
part of the run you're kind of just walking through. It's really not something you'd practice, so I can see muscle memory just taking over.
Yeah, I have no idea if it would have an impact in the old glitches route. I haven't watched any of those runs.
I don't know. I just know elevators are really messed up in this game.
I believe the kids call it these days jank.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so this section right here is largely just a lot of movement, trying not to take damage, making sure that you have the appropriate amount of soul and geo and so on and so forth. Kind of a bit of a point of downtime in the run, honestly.
Yeah, we have time for donations.
Did you know that if you have Twitch Prime?
Yeah, so even though Lolicry's at 2 HP, it really means there's a bench that you're going to have to take anyway, so it really doesn't mean too much. Oh, this is a look down. This is fun.
Yeah.
When you
Scurry, look down the chat, please.
When you access this toll, if you look down or I think look up as Lolicry did, the toll will actually appear much faster. Why that happens, you may ask, we have absolutely no idea. It's really weird and implies that the code is kind of messed up. Luckily, we have a sequel coming.
Totally the game, the Hollow Knight Silk Song will be completely as well programmed as this one. There's absolutely no issues at all.
So Cry does have enough geo now. He is behind by a more substantial margin than we've seen for the rest of the race, but with stuff like Umu coming up, especially with Deepness and Beastine, it's still anyone's race.
Yeah, so a lot of the geo that we've been farming throughout the course of this run has been to grab the lantern, which you just saw Lolicry pick up on the left-hand side. You have probably seen other games where runners will go into dark rooms where there's a lantern and you don't have to go get said lantern in order to traverse the dark room. In this case, Palm, it has specifically to do with the hard lock.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to get past what we're gonna see Lolicry get to right here. He's in the wrong room. I don't know if he knows that. There's a room that would be completely dark without the lantern and actually won't allow you to access a toll. We'd be fine with running through the rooms dark. It's just the game just will not let you.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw Krythom not do Scurry Look Down, and I'm disappointed.
Sad face.
Mm-hmm. He did it a little late. He did it like after he realized that he missed it, but you get a nice comparison there of how long the tolls take. It's about like a 3-second difference, I think, which is surprisingly significant for something so kind of random. Sorry, jank. I learned that term today.
Jank, yes, there you go.
Thanks.
So surprisingly, not as significant a lead as I would have thought. Just over 40 seconds difference. Kind of part of the shenanigans that you get when you have different competing powers and load times. Despite everything that happened to Krythom, he's managed to be within striking distance here, and not too far from now we're going to be coming up on a boss called Umu, which every cycle that you get on that fight is pretty much a 30-second time loss.
Yeah.
So depending on how that goes for the runners, it could either be essentially game over for Krythom at that point, or he could reverse the situation and regain the lead. So we'll have to see in a moment.
Oh, Pogax. Krythom's going for Pogax.
And he missed it.
Oh, he only tried it once. He went for it. That's what
and that's the important thing. Krythom wins the race. GG.
Oh no, he's going to go for it again by accident. So
okay.
A really hard mechanic in this game is jumping over gaps and dashing. We're going to see Krythom as a glitches runner. He's probably not used to that. He probably just floats over them, so he couldn't manage that one.
Yeah, it's very difficult, in fact, when you have to do things without glitches. So there's going to be intentional damage here from Lolicry that he took in order to set up that cycle right there that he just dashed through. No big deal to pick up. Crystal Heart, which is very important for acid skips and specifically Queen's Garden access trick that is going to be coming up that saves what, like 40 seconds a minute?
About 40, yeah. 40. I think it's closer to like 50 or 60 now because people are getting ridiculous times with it.
Yeah. So very critical skill to have for that, and in terms of just movement in general. It's an infinite dash basically until you hit a wall.
Yeah, you'll see it right here, actually. The very first thing you do after you come back in. It's much faster than dashing. The reason we need this There's kind of an order here, like a linear order. The reason we get Geo is so we can get the Lantern. The reason we get Lantern is so we can get Crystal Dash. The reason we can get Crystal Dash is so we can skip Isma's tier and get to the Dreamers. And obviously, we need the Dreamers to get to the final boss fight to, you know, finish the game. That's kind of important.
Yeah, I get it. Getting Ismas is not only slower; it's just ridiculous to go and get for it. And this routing is, well, probably more difficult overall in terms of execution. Is significantly faster than going against Ismas tier instead.
So this is the easier of the two acid skips, which Lolicry has kind of a weird setup for, but he will make it second try. So that's a bit of time loss. The harder one's going to be after Umu, and that's the one that's much more. I don't think it's like pixel perfect, but it feels like that.
It is precise as all get out. Yeah, it really definitely feels like you only have maybe 2 or 3 pixels in order to land on that wall and get the crystal dash. And then on top of that, you have to time your wall jump on the other side.
What's happening to Krythom?
So that you don't dip.
I wasn't watching Krythom's stream. I don't know why he's coming out of the stag station now. I don't know why he's not crystal dashing either. Krythom, come on, man. You have an ability.
Has probably forgotten that he has that ability.
It seems it, doesn't it?
Maybe he doesn't pick it up.
Someone confirm to see if all glitches gets crystal dash or not. I'm really guessing no at this point. I'm really guessing no. I don't know what he's doing.
Conrad, chat with the NEC dash or.
Oh, his setup for this skip's also kind of weird.
So this is Umu. Ideally, this is a jellyfish on a bicycle on the left-hand side of your screen. You can probably better explain the setup in order to get 150 damage to.
Yeah, we need 150 damage per cycle. We're gonna see it right here. He's a little slow, but he might get it. No, he's gonna push Umu too far to the right there. What you were seeing while he was doing his damage rotation is Umu was actually stuck in that platform, which means we can get a bunch of hits on it, which means a bunch of soul, which is fireballs, which is damage. But unfortunately, he was 1 hit too short, which happens if you. Oh, how did he get that dream now?
Excuse me? Hitboxes?
It doesn't really matter because he's probably getting a 3 cycle anyway, but that was an impressive dream nail to see right in between Umu.
Just, casually threading the needle.
So I'm kind of hoping for Krythom's sake he does get a 2 cycle here. I don't know how much he's practiced this.
Yeah,
but it would make a nice raise.
Yeah.
It's certainly going to be a 3 cycle from Lolly. Yeah, there you go.
So that's a 2745 kill approximately for Lolicry left side of your screen. And Krythom starting the fight just a few moments ago, so he will at best be about 30 seconds behind here.
Oh, he's going to heal here. He might not even be going for it. He needs 2 dream nails if he wants to have enough soul. He can get 2 dream nails, but okay, he gets it. It was a risky heal. That's pretty slow. Yeah, he's going to do the exact same thing where he was a little slow in his damage rotation, and he's going to push you too far to the right. So hopefully a 3 cycle. On the left side of your screen, which is far less interesting, you're going to see Lolicry kill a Dreamer, which is hitting it 12 times with a nail. Very difficult.
Probably one of the hardest things that you can do is counting with Dreamers.
This is ugly.
This setup's not correct. Drops down, takes a couple fireballs there.
Yeah.
Not too bad in terms of trying to get damage in on that cycle, considering how it went for him.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty low damage. I don't think he gets a 3 cycle here. He has to move Umu basically onto this platform down right, and then beat the hell out of it, basically. And he does not. There's no way. Oh, he gets a 4th attack! So Umu did an extra attack here, which means he has an extra chance, but it doesn't look like he's going to the right spot. Yeah, it should be 4.
Oh, fireball into the platform.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I don't even know if he would have had enough damage available left to take Umu out there, so this is a pretty significant advantage for Lolicry at this point with the way this Umu fight is going. Krythom is going to need Lolicry to have a lot of mistakes from here on out. We're pretty much just heading over to Beast Den now, which the Dreamers, by the way, are gated by 2 bosses. The first 2 that we picked up, the Watcher Knights and Umu, and the last one is gated by a Maze, Hera. So, yeah, it's just going to be a lot of movement, basically, in through a very scary part of the run, actually. Lots of things can kill you in a lot of sort of tight, confined spaces, so it's by no means free. Runs can definitely die there, but it's mostly movement for Lolicry at this point until the Hollow Knight fight. This is QGA, by the way.
Oh, he might get it.
First try.
Let's go. Nice.
Very nice by Lolicry.
So Lolicry will actually take 2 tries on the first acid skip and 1 try on the second, which makes absolutely no sense, but congrats up to him for getting QGA first try. This part of the run is actually kind of the most interesting in my opinion, both to run and to watch, because there's not much RNG in it, whereas Umu, it's like very much RNG dependent. So it's really just up to the runner's skill at this point, and it's a very difficult skill to navigate this place with optimal movement. He's not going to get a double hit. What he wanted is that fireball to hit twice, and then he'd kill this Mantis a lot faster, but instead he's going to take some really unwanted damage and lose a bit of time for that. Maybe he doesn't. He does get that, okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Good recovery for the second part of that arena. That is an intentional damage tank to warp you here to this lever. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have to go all the way around to the left like you do in current patch. That lever just opens a gate, which allows you to progress. It does mean health is a little scary here, but he is at 4 HP. He did heal after that hit in the Mantis arena. So
a couple extra farms of soul there as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, in a race environment, wouldn't be too surprised if he just takes some extra time here, get some extra hits in, farm some soul, and get up to 5 HP before heading into Beast Den. And yeah, he's definitely good at whining now.
Unfortunate.
Takes a dip into the spikes. QGA right side for Krythom.
Oh, Krythom.
First try.
Oh my goodness. We got 2 first try QGA. I don't think they missed a skip, right? I think they got Explosion Pogo, Mantis, Fireball. Yep. Hold on to them.
Just the one dunk on the first acid skip for Lolicry, I think. It was about it. So.
Oh yeah. See, I don't even.
See, we're gonna see like, that's not like a total failure kind of deal.
Yeah.
Know? Like where you're spending 40 seconds trying to get the one thing and having to go farm more soul and heal. So.
Well, it's amazing. Like, I'm watching right side Krythom right now. He doesn't do an earlier crystal dash that he's meant to, and I've actually seen a lot of runners not know about a crystal dash. So. I haven't followed the scene for too long. I don't know if that's like a relatively new discovery. I'm starting to think it might be. Okay, he did get the respawn. I was scared he died.
I only saw it first a few weeks ago, honestly.
Oh really?
Yeah. It might have been around longer than that, but it was the first.
I mean, it's been around since I've started, so it's definitely been around for like a few months.
Shows you how much I was paying attention.
Up here, Lolicry is going to come into Beast Den,
the music's
which is
so good here in Queen's Garden, though. It's like so relaxing.
This is like the scariest part of the run, probably. He's not going to do the music glitch. I'm disappointed. Apparently, last time I said that Logan didn't do the music glitch, and he actually did, so my bad for that. But what you can do there is keep the Beast Den music continuing into basically the rest of the run until the Hollow Knight. That's a fun sound.
It was a long black screen. Okay. 32-12 coming out of the trap bench for Lolicry.
Yeah, it's going to be about a minute difference.
Yeah, so at this point, unless these devouts give Lolicry a massive issue, it is going to be necessary spaghetti on the Hollow Knight fight in order for Krythom to catch up, unfortunately.
It is his race to lose at this point.
Yeah.
He does want full soul here, and this is not at all an easy place to collect soul.
No, you're jumping here, off walls and spiders want to kill you and everything.
He's doing a good job. You do want full soul for the last devout, so you can do the same kind of skip you did for the first devout. Those are those enemies with the claws and the big shield on their face. And he wants to have at least 2 HP, so he doesn't want to get hit. Okay, I'll hit it here. Good decision. Free the grub, obviously. That is
Duran, what opening up your inventory as you're falling does is that it uncaps your fall speed, and it also prevents you from getting the stun animation when you hit the ground.
Yeah, they do it a lot during the run, just kind of at intermediate points. It saves, I don't know, probably like a second or two, depending on the fall, of course.
Alright, so this is the last dreamer for Lolicry.
Yep.
Very hard. He knows how to count. Excellence.
I don't even think you need to know how to count. You just wait till it's done.
Yeah, so that's a 3308 for Krythom on the exit there.
Yeah, the other issue is Krythom was low soul and low HP coming into this, so he's probably going to lose even more time in Beast Den.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised for less than a minute.
Yeah, it was 56 seconds at the time that he left the trap bench there, coming out of the
Yeah, but oh no.
Oh, 1 HP.
That's really rough. He doesn't even have soul to heal.
Krythom. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna kill these little spiders here, get a heal on. Definitely playing it safe. Smart idea. Yeah, 3 HP. That's better.
And you say playing it safe. Those eggs that he's hitting when he's hitting the spiders, they can spawn other spiders, which could
Yeah.
have been pretty bad for someone at 1 HP. Oh
Oh
no!
no!
Oh,
He gets chain damaged. Hits the spider and then gets knocked into the spikes. That's
a classic
terrible.
combo. Yeah, basically whenever you get hit in this game, you're gonna have invincibility for a couple seconds. The exception to that rule being what Krythom demonstrated. If you get hit by an enemy and then into hazards, hazards will hit you and respawn you no matter what. They don't care if you're invincible or not. So Krythom will actually take 2 damage from that. And normally you couldn't take 2 damage that quickly in a row.
So he's got to do this about starting off soulless, which is going to lose
Yeah.
him even more time that he honestly couldn't afford to lose at this point.
Yeah. He basically needs Lolicry to mess up the Hollow Knight fight.
Yeah, this is...
What's
Go ahead.
What's Lolicry's PB?
Lolicry's PB was 3651. It was 3659 as of entering the tournament, but he PB recently.
3651. I mean, he's almost certainly not going to get it. I don't know if it's even like community gold possible at this point. He's going to be close to it, but I don't think he's going to get one. He can prove me wrong. I hope he proves me wrong.
So the bench that he passed right there is an automatic save. So if he dies here, he's just going to be right outside the Hollow Knight fight. No deal. Except in terms of possibly losing the race, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, a couple benches in this
game. Go ahead.
A couple benches in this game that are automatic are the one where you get Vengeful Spirit. You're automatically going to respawn there if you don't use this bench, and this bench at the Hollow Knight fight, which is going to start right now. So we're looking for doubles in this fight, which means when the Hollow Knight does the dash attack, which he's demonstrated twice, demonstrated thrice, we want to shoot a fireball so it hits him both times, which Lolicry unfortunately managed to do once, but with his time, it shouldn't matter too much.
No, it's at this point getting double hits for him is a nice little sort of quality of life thing, but not necessary. Except in terms of just being able to get through the fight without being put at risk of taking more damage, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know if he still thinks he has a chance of PB too, so that could be a factor in how aggressively he plays this fight.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's looking to play it pretty clean. He's only taken 1 hit of damage. He's missed some doubles, certainly, but he hasn't lost too much time from it.
Yeah. Excepting portions of the early game, this has actually been a very clean run from Lolicry for his skill level.
I mean, and from Krythom. Krythom's definitely going to PB here. I mean, granted, he probably hasn't played the category in like a year, but still. Oh no.
The fireball goes the other direction.
Yeah. You got to turn around for that one. I don't know. I know personally, with my controller, with my stick, like if I thrust the stick to like the left, it'll actually bounce back to the right a bit. So I know I shoot stuff backwards sometimes. I don't know if that's the case for him or he just kind of forgot his direction. Scream skip? Oh, he dashed out of it. What you can get there is you can actually get hit during that final scream, and what'll happen is you'll regain control of your character earlier than you would otherwise, which means you can use that time to just beat up on the Hollow Knight a little bit more, which is always fun.
Yeah,
He should be just about dead. Yeah.
Missing that amount of doubles and fireballs did kill Lolicry's PB chance. Still going to be fairly close to a PB run here. He's only going to be about 25, 30 seconds behind.
He'll finish at about 37.25, so about 30 seconds, a little over.
Yeah, 34. So Krythom starting his Hollow Knight fight. As mentioned, looking for the doubles, avoiding the parries if possible. Take some damage for the Hollow Knight there. Gets the parry on that one.
Looking for a PB.
He can. He definitely can. Like, as long as he plays this well, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, he basically just needs to not die to get a PB. I don't know if he knows where the race is at. For the skill level of these runners, like, these were very good times. Like, they didn't miss a skip. The race was pretty close throughout. I don't remember what lost Krythom like a full minute. I guess it was just some movement after... Oh yeah, it was movement after Watcher Knights, I'm pretty sure. And Watcher Knights themselves.
Yeah, and well, it's kind of just a combination of a bunch of small things on Krythom's side, like having to farm up in D-Sten and missing out on some Geo, the intentional Pogax attempt, and then the accidental Pogax attempt.
True. You gotta respect the Pogax attempt.
Yeah.
Also, forgetting that Crystal Dash was a skill is...
yeah, that did hurt him. Down to 2 HP, but it's heading towards the last phase here of the Hollow Knight fight. He probably will be okay.
Yeah, he should be. I don't know if he screamed yet. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was busy roasting him for missing crystal dashes.
He should be coming up right here shortly. I doubt he'll go for it on 2 HP.
Yeah. With almost a guaranteed PB. Can you scream, please? Thank you.
There you go.
He kinda half tried. Yeah, with a guaranteed PB, you almost don't want to go for it. You'll just take the PB at that point, and then for the next like week until you get another PB, you'll regret not going for it.
Except for the fact that he won't run this category for another year.
True. No, he hasn't. Yeah, he has another. He has losers bracket.
Yeah, he also has the losers bracket. That's right. This is a double elimination tournament, by the way. We did not cover that. So there is a winners bracket and a losers bracket. So Krythom will get knocked down to the losers bracket, while Lolicry will advance.
Just missing the 38, it looks like. Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Congrats on the PB. GG to both runners. 39.01. That is a 39-second PB for Krythom.
Yeah, the timers, if you just look at the timers at the end and see a 37 and a 39, it doesn't look like it was too close of a race, but really, like, until the end of the race, it was definitely close. It was a good race to watch. I enjoyed it.
For the most part, for the first half, it was only about 15 seconds apart, and then it kind of slowly started to get away.
Yeah, I think going into watching nights, they were a second apart.
Yeah, like it was really close. And then, things happen. It's a race situation. Mistakes would have been made.
For sure. So I can see if we can get Lolicry in here.
Sure.
Is that the idea?
That would be a great idea. Or Krythom if you want to pop in.
Yeah, I can message him too. He definitely had a good race. Kind of waiting on them. While we're waiting, I can mention a couple of the upcoming races. There's going to be one tomorrow at, all these times are going to be in Eastern time, tomorrow at 12 p.m. versus Apocalypse Cow and Sir Zylo. Another one at 12 p.m. on Saturday, which is going to be Cake Sauce and Deviltifa, I guess. Cake Sauce is I think he's the non-favorite technically by seeding, but he's also been running a lot more, and I think he actually has a better PB now, so that should be a really close race. And then finally, we're going to have one on the next Monday at 9 p.m. All those times are Eastern.
So Lolicry will advance to face off against Scurry, by the way, in the next round. Scurry currently rank 3 behind Fireborn and Pestilent.
Alright, I've been told to use the commentator controls. Use your bot link. Oh no. This isn't good. People are trusting me.
Imagine being trusted.
Oh, it looks like I have it. Imagine being trusted. Why do you trust me? And Lolicry. I'm hoping this is what they need. To be honest, I haven't invited anyone for interviews before, so it's the first time. Oh. Mati's giving me instructions on how to do everything here. It's appreciated. Oh, there we go. It did work.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, we got both.
Congratulations on the run, gentlemen. Pretty good race for the most part. Lolicry, you have
I felt really solid the whole way through. I didn't feel a single mess up. I don't know how I got a 39.
It's sorcery, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's how it happened.
Rigged timer.
So, Lolicry, you actually had a PB recently. How did you feel that this went, considering your grinding recently and in general just being in a race situation?
I thought this was a pretty good run, and the early game was pretty bad, but I got really into it in the mid game. I was pretty happy with it.
Krythom, we had talked on top of the broadcast. You're known more for your glitched runs coming into this category. Without de-rusting, as far as I'm aware, coming up and showing up with a PB. How do you feel about your performance today?
I don't know. I just had a good time on it. I really liked doing stuff and then waiting for the chat to react like a minute later. Particularly the Crystal Peaks play was a good one.
I don't.
Because
Well, are you talking about Pogax or after getting C dash?
yeah, the Pogax. I don't know what happened after C dash. I don't know about that, but
I don't know. I wasn't watching your screen, but I saw you dashing out of the stag station in Dirtmouth, and I was very confused on how you managed that.
Oh, I probably just forgot to use C dash. I don't have it in glitch runs.
Well, but I don't even know how you got to the stag station in Dirtmouth. Like, that impressed me as is.
Oh, I don't know. But no, I don't know. I felt all right. I'm surprised I PV'd. I was expecting to die to Watcher Knights a few times.
Oh, we thought both of you were. It was scary. You two, I think, were 1 or 2 seconds apart entering the Watcher Knights fight.
Oh,
We were
really?
Oh.
right neck and neck there.
But yeah, I feel the need to explain the Pogax play. Because that
Sure.
wasn't me going for Pogax. I went up the wrong side, not knowing.
Oh,
I forgot which side you go up.
I lost your
And then I
side
got
pretty quick.
there. I got there and I was like, oh shit, this is the Pogax side. And so I decided I'd at least try it, and then I realized I had no idea what the setup was. And so then I went around, of course, and then
Yeah.
fell down and had to do
Yeah.
that move. But that wasn't a valid attempt at Pogax. I was never
Okay.
trying to do that.
but
You
you
shouldn't
went
have said
for
that,
it, and that's
yeah.
the important part. All right. Well, GG to both of you. Thanks for popping in and having a chat with us. Just a reminder, we do have more races coming up this weekend at Eastern times, noon on Friday and Saturday, and then Monday we're going to have an evening race at 9 p.m. Thanks for popping in, guys. Good race.
Yeah, had fun.
That was Lolicry versus Krythom. My name is Shafe, joined alongside Palm. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.